What's going on, guys? My name is RagingRaptor and welcome to a new World of Tanks preview video. And today we are going to have a look at the upcoming changes of the German heavy tanks. The E100, the E-75, the Tiger II, the Tiger I and the VK36.01. All those tanks will get their different changes. They will be buffed as Wargaming promised in 2019 and didn't got to it. So yeah. Now I guess it's the best time to just jump into the E100. Don't forget, I'm going to make a video like this for the IS-4 as well as for the E5. So now, without further ado, let's jump into the E100. Let's first jump into the normal stats buffs of the E100. And the first one being the changes to the 12.8 cm KWK 44L55 gun. The first thing which was changed is the HP shot damage. It goes up from 490 to 530. Then we'll be getting a reduction in the reload time from 13.3 seconds to 12 seconds. The aim time will get slightly longer with from 2.3 to 2.5 seconds. And the accuracy will also be made a little bit higher from 0.36 to 0.39. Lastly, there will be some improvements to the gun stabilization. Then we got some changes to the 12 cm KWK L38 gun, but they are minor. They are only going to be buffing its aim time from 2.9 to 2.7 seconds. So, those changes already are, in my opinion, very interesting that Wargaming decided to make the gun, the stock gun of the E100 more valuable. And more valuable indeed. It got a huge DPM boost, not only from alpha damage, but also from reload time. Like, again, you are reloading 1.2 seconds, 1.3 seconds faster, while also gaining 40 HP per shot damage more. That is, in my opinion, a very interesting approach, but also with the changes we're going to have a look at in just a second, it kind of feels like it makes the mouse a little bit obsolete-ish, because the armor on the E100 will get pretty darn strong in that kind of sense. Nevertheless, I do enjoy the idea of making the 12.8 cm gun a valuable option on the E100. I love this idea because this gives the player the opportunity or the idea to choose between alpha damage and penetration or DPM and low alpha and consistency, you know. This is something I am very much looking forward to. The changes to the 15 cm gun, they are alright. I don't really see anything wrong with that. I already consider the 15 cm gun being a very good gun. The only things which are a little bit lackluster are its premium penetration when you are comparing it to the VK7201K, which has 350 mm of heat penetration compared to the E100's 334 mm of penetration. To the armor. The armor is also very interesting. As you can see, the most changes were done to the turret front, where we are gaining from 288 mm of effective armor up to 311, and from 250 mm of effective armor on the turret ring to 310. Those are the main big changes. I have to say, those are very much worth it and I think will help the E100 already. I always said, in my opinion, the E100 needed a frontal turret buff some way or another. Maybe with heat screens, because heats are the most devastating ammunition type against him, or something else. And I do consider that this buff right here is adequate and will make this tank a lot better against premium round spam against its turret. Still, obviously, if you are peeking against somebody which has 340 mm of heat pen, they will still have a decent time penetrating your turret. It is more about you angling your turret, because at the moment, in the current state of the game, you could angle however you want your turret. The enemy will still have around a 50% penetration rate on the E100 turret with, for example, 340 mm heat pen. This is just very saddening if you think about it, and this is why I do think the flat surface armor buff is very well welcomed. What I personally do not like is that Wargaming decided to buff the weak spot from 150 to 200 mm. Again, please don't forget that if they are going to buff this weak spot as well, we are having a slippery slope once again with the issue that turrets still do not have any weak spots. I do not like this. I would consider this to be reverted back to 150. However, I do think that a lot of German people will disagree with me because they think they already suffered enough with the E100. Maybe, maybe not. We will see in the comment section below in my German video. However, I do think overall the E100 buff looks promising. It will look interesting to play again. It may or may not be making the mouse obsolete with the 12.8 centimeter buffs, and it may become a little bit too strong when it comes to removing that weak spot. However, I do have to be honest, when I was facing an E100, I usually just dabbed that 2 key to just smash him right through the turret, even when he was angling, and I'm sure this additional armor will be making this a lot harder. Now let's jump to the E75. The E75 definitely also got some fair share of changes. First things, the 88 centimeter gun got its damage buff from 240 to 280. The 10.5 centimeters guns both got their damage buff from 320 to 360. And obviously, because it's the same gun as on the E100, its HP or AP damage was buffed from 490 to 530. This makes the E75 one of the hardest hitting tier 10 heavy tanks in the game, only being surpassed by the 50 TP as far as I know. It is a very strong gun now with 530 alpha, while remaining the same amount of reload time. Also, you are going to get a buff to its HP while being on stock configuration. You get 30 HP more, as well as in top configuration from 1920 to 1950. They also are going to change the traverse speed by quite a lot from 28 to 36 degrees. Excuse me, from 36 degrees to 28, they're actually nerfing it. My mistake right there. They are also doing the same thing for the hull. So they are saying, you know what, if you are getting an improved frontal armor of the turret, you gotta pay for it with a lower hull traverse. This could make the E75 a lot more sluggish and a lot more in line with the Moisian, which I sadly don't think is a great idea. However, it will also be very interesting to see what exactly is going to happen to that turret front armor. How is it going to be changed? How hard will it be? What is going to happen to the VKB? I do think, however, the E75 with those buffs may or may not become a little bit overtuned. It's, in my opinion, already a pretty decent heavy tank. It looks already, with those changes, to become a monster for tier 9. But again, those are my personal opinion from the datas we have. I didn't play the E75 in quite some time, and obviously those changes are subject to be changed. Next on the block, we have the Tiger II, which will also get some changes, and those are, in my opinion, pretty interesting, because not only do you get a nerf, well, you get a buff with the stock gun, with the 88cm KWK L71, where you are gaining a slight amount of DPM. You're also getting a faster aim time. However, this is very interesting. Both 105mm guns get a buff from 320 to 360 alpha, with the added benefit of no nerf to the reload time. So effectively, you're just bumping up your DPM by 40 damage each shot. That is, in my opinion, a pretty decent price which you are getting for the Tiger II. And sadly, again, we do not know yet what the armor models will be, but you get improved armor. So this means probably the turret face will get stronger, the turret roof will get stronger, the upper front as well as the lower hull will get stronger. Who knows? We will see in due time. Again, I'm going to keep you up to date with that. Again, those changes will impose some questions. What is going to happen to tanks like the Jag Tiger or the Jagdtiger? The Jagdtiger 88. Some people said I should use the German pronunciation as I'm already German-Swiss German. So yeah, what is going to happen to tanks like the Jagdtiger? Those are the questions. Will Wargaming decide to make changes to the VKB, the tier 9 tank in front of the Panzerkampfwagen 7? Because it has basically the same turret as the E75. Will it also get a turret front armor buff? Would make sense in my opinion, because it's even more sluggish and has maybe even a worse gun. we'll see. Again, it's the early stages. Second to last, we have the Tiger 1, which also gets a buff. Very interesting, they're buffing its alpha as well from 240 to 280, being, in my opinion, a very, very comfortable place to be in. Don't forget, the Tiger 1 is already a beast when it comes to DPM on tier 7 with its HP pool. Now it gains an additional 20 DPM per minute. It's not much, yes. You are trading reload time for alpha damage, which is in my opinion totally fine, but you also get 0.2 seconds faster aim time, making the Tiger 1 being a little bit snappier when it comes to aiming in. Those are once again, in my opinion, very, very neat buffs, and for people which know how to use the Tiger 1, they will be devastating. Higher alpha damage allows this little cat to really be a ferocious beast, in my opinion. Plus, you also get improvements to the gun mantlet armor. It's hard to judge how this will exactly look, because again, we do not know yet. Will be interesting to see, because the Tiger 1's mantlet can be weak. Most importantly, when this is the gun, those cheeks, they're pretty thick, but everything between the cheeks, they are pretty thin, just around 100 millimeters thick. So maybe there will be buffed to around 150, maybe even 200 on the fatter parts, making this tank a very decent hull-down vehicle. We'll be seeing this, how this will be implemented. I'm looking forward to this. Maybe this will be once again the terror of tier 7, who knows. And lastly, we have changes to the VK36.01, which is the tier 6 tank. There are excuse me. There are some minor changes to the KVK36 gun, where you will get a more accurate gun from 0.38 to 0.36. The gun stabilization, meaning accuracy on the move and during turret traverse, will be improved. There will be some slight changes to the reverse speed from 12 to 14 kph. I think there's a little mistake there. There will also be some changes to the HP pool from 1000 to 1100 and from 1060 to 1200. Please keep in mind, this is most likely planned to have the parts in it where Wargaming decided to buff the tier 6 HP pool. Interesting to see that we only get a marginal increase from the Tiger 1 or to the Tiger 1 of just 300 compared to what we have right now, which is like 560. So that's pretty interesting to see. In conclusion, I think those changes look devastating. They will make many German tank fans happy. I do look forward to playing the E100. However, I do want to be a little bit steady, and I am slightly scared. What is going to happen with that weak spot? I really think weak spots are crucial to the game. You will see this with the IS-4 in even better, because there you can actually even smell, in my opinion, a little bit the Russian bias. I know that some people wanted the IS-4 to be changed like that. I think it may be overdoing it a little bit. Those are just my personal concerns. I also think the E-75 will become very strong depending how tough the turret will be. Most likely tough as nails. And lastly, I do think that this is still early stage. I'm just giving my personal opinion on it. You should too. I'm leaving a link to the heavy tank rebalance thread of the EU server in the comment section below. If you want to see the other things like this, the E4 branch as well as the E5 branch, then feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel to keep you up to date to everything related to World of Tanks news. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you enjoyed the video, leave a thumbs up. If you think there are things I could do better, give me some feedback. I'm always happy. My name is RagingRaptor. Thank you for your attention, and I'll talk to you in a different video.